Hello, we are live yet again. This is one of my authors chats of the week. I know I haven't been doing them a lot lately. That's because I was traveling for a couple weeks and then just getting back in the groove of things. It's kind of been just me and trying to work on my editing and again, make sure all my projects are where they need to be. And of course, having my campaign running for my special edition as well as my standard edition book, Fleet Legend of Atalanta, is going on right now. But as I said, this is my author chat of the week, and I'm going to send my invite to my co-host, and we'll get things rocking and rolling in just a moment. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
I love your bookshelf. I love the fact that you have all the pretty, sprayed edges out and about. It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I stopped buying physical copies for a really long time. I read everything like as an ebook, and then within the last year and a half, I started like collecting again, which has been rough for the wallet. But look like this, and they're so pretty. It's hard.
How that is. Yeah, my dream is, it wasn't that long ago when I got a new office kind of redone, but couldn't afford the floor-to-ceiling shelves yet. So once I get those in, then I want to make sure I have space to do the same thing, wallet permitting.
Wallet permitting, always. I mean, they're IKEA shelves, so they're not like awful. But like, I can't wait to get to the point where I can get the extenders. I can put the crown molding on, make it look like a built-in. One day I'll get there.
That's the dream.
Slowly but surely.
So I don't know if you've ever listened to any of my little live chats before. They're pretty conversational. Anytime someone pops into the chat, anything bookish related or a question pertaining, to what we're talking about, I try to make that known because if this platform's nice, usually it is. Sometimes it's a little wonky. I'll try to repurpose this on my YouTube channel later and put all your contact information down below. But outside of that, I will let you, since you're my co-host today, introduce yourself and what you write.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Rachel. I guess most of my stuff is probably like in the romance genre and then kind of like subgenres off of that. So I have a couple magical realism books. I have romantasy. I have a paranormal kind of like dark academia coming out in September. So like they're all romance themed, but they are all kind of like grouped a little bit separately. So like the Constellation Lounge is about a magical bar in New York that likes to come and go as it pleases. A Study in Shadows is my dark academia. The Song of the Tide is a Romeo and Juliet Little Mermaid retelling. Ooh. And then I'm literally like, wait, what do I have up here? And then The Wraith and the Cursed Heart is like cozy romantasy, like about a quest, like old school fairy tale, 3 magical objects, like trying to find fates and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of everything, I guess.
So when did you, I won't say start writing or go, because that's complicated for people, but when did you start publishing books?
I wrote and published my first book at 20, and it was a thriller romance about a girl that enters in witness protection, and is like living her life in California and runs into somebody that she grew up next to and used to be in love with, and he's like never stopped searching for her, and he doesn't know it's her. So I published that, and then I published a couple others, and I didn't know anything at 20. I did not know what I know now. So I ended up taking them down, and then for a really long time, like I wrote stuff that just was never published. Like I have 2 full trilogies done that are just rotting in my laptop. They will never see the light of day. Like they're in the tomb. That's where they live. And then I published my first romance book called First Crush back in 2024. And then I've been kind of slowly going since then.
That's fantastic. Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's like a lot of authors do have, as you put it, the tomb where you write these books, could be short stories, could be full-length series, and a lot of them don't see the light of day. And that's all part of the process of you figuring out your author's voice and, the craft of writing, because there is a good bit you learn along the way just through sheer practice. And so I definitely understand that.
So much. I mean, I still have them. I think they're like in an email attachment somewhere. Like they need so much work, but like, I think even in like Microsoft Word, which was what I wrote it, and it was like 450 pages, like they're long. They have no business like being like that. They were it was a lot of like, oh, and then what if I write this scene, and like what if I write this scene, and then you kind of go through and do all of that. But yeah, I mean, you come from somewhere. They're all part of what I do and who I am, and I think about them often. They're just resting.
Yeah, well, I see so from the chatter that certain people are curious about the books in the crypt. You never know. Maybe one day you'll send like your super readers and super fans a little taste of your earlier works and say,
Oh,
"This is how
geez.
I began. This is where I am."
That would actually be kind of fun actually to go through and like that's a really good idea actually to take like my first I love to write a declaration. It's like one of my favorite things. Like I love those really charged scenes when someone's about to admit something. So I feel like I should go back and like take a snippet from like one of those and then compare it to where I am now and see if anybody can kind of pick out some of the similarities. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
I love that you said I can't claim all that just because again some of the people in the chat were mentioning what is in your crypt, as you will, crypt tomb, whatever we want to call these things. But yeah, I was gonna say those are just a fun thing to do, and since it's already written, it's something
It's already
easy for you to
there.
share. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like a quick like read through, make sure nothing is like horrifically spelled wrong because I will get called out for it. But yeah, I feel like that would be fun to do. Great
So
suggestions.
so with your various series and kind of like I'm a second world, so a high fantasy, epic fantasy author, but I bracket very differently within that kind of umbrella. How have you figured out, or how have you fared trying to find readers between all your subgenres? Because certain readers won't jump, others will go wherever you are. They are your go till you go people.
Which is awesome, and I think I have a couple of people that will do that for me, that like I like to call it world hopping, that will just like come with me like in all of these like tiny little journeys. And some people like, if they like, I have a dark academia, some people like dark romance more than anything, and it's not really dark romance, but like because of the paranormal aspect. So I try to like go through, like if people are like signing up for arcs, like I'm always scrolling through people's profiles to see what they read, like just trying to like get a good base. But honestly, I just kind of like I should probably have a better strategy, but like honestly, I'm just like, hey, have this book.
Yep.
This is it. Do you want to read for me? Like pretty much like pray, that people want to come and do it. And for people who have read other books from me that are like, oh, I'm not into this, but I want to read this one, like that's fine. Like I'm just grateful for your support, honestly. So like if not every book is a fit for you, I may have 2 or 3 that really are, and that's cool. And then they kind of jump on board and help me promote and stuff. So it's cool to be able to see what people like to read and be able to like give people different things. It's awesome.
And it's also nice not to niche yourself down, because again, that's one thing that there are pros and cons, and this is probably something I'm going to parrot multiple times throughout this thing. There are pros and cons in everything when it comes to writing. So when it comes to jumping genres, like you said, some of the pros is, it's fun to see who's going to join you on the journey. It's fun to keep things fresh for you as our author and follow your passions and everything and be true to wherever, your career and your writing takes you. On the other hand, you may again lose some people over time because they fade out and they don't want to follow you through. So there's pros and cons. But for me, yeah, I'm one of those. I will finish a series or publish multiple series simultaneously, and then jump to something totally new, very different. And I'm like, hey, guess what? Here's my new thing today.
Well, there's so much to write. There's so much to write, and it's so hard because like I have 1,000 ideas. I'm like, well, I want to write this. I want to write this. I want to do this. So like I wrote 3 romance books in a row, and then I didn't write anything for almost a year. And then I wrote a romantasy duet like within 2 months of each other. And I was like, wow, this is really fun. And then I wrote a dark academia, like totally out of left field. Like no chill. And then I wrote the Constellation Lounge, which is magical realism. Like every single one of them are different, but I feel like for me as a writer who I feel like I'm really kind of coming into myself, I want to challenge myself and pick different genres. So then like I finished the Constellation Lounge in November, and then in January I wrote a portal fantasy, which was like my first portal fantasy I've ever written. And then I wrote what I like to call Mermaid Depression, which is the Song of the Tide. And then I wrote a vampire book that's like a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. And then I wrote like another cozy fantasy. Like the genres are literally like It feels like a
Yeah.
ping pong or like a pinball machine when the ball goes
Mhm.
up and it's just like hitting every single category. But like it's hard. I can't stay in one lane. I'm like, but this and this and this.
If there was a secret to multi-genre and subgenre marketing, I don't know it. But it for me, it's still just that fun challenge of following whatever the new thing is, and that is a lot of fun. Plus, I don't know. I feel like if you force yourself to stay in a box, not only will you kind of feel a little more crushed and like your soul depleted, but your characters will come out a little more stinted too because
And they're
they
all the
live and
same.
breathe through you. So
Right? Like they're all the same. So like I like to challenge myself and I like to be like, here's my range. Like here's what I can do. And the vampire book that I just wrote is way edgier than all the other stuff that I've written. So like I sent it to a couple beta readers and they were like, this is like different for you. And I was like, yeah, like because I don't want to just be like, well, this is the only thing that I write. I want to be able to kind of branch out, give you a little bit of everything, and hopefully execute it well, obviously.
well, has there, I won't say your favorite character because that's a mean question to ask, but have there been certain characters that stick with you even though, you're jumping around to new things, but, you keep going back and thinking about them and saying, man, I like that one.
Yeah. I feel like I have a couple. When I wrote my romantasy duet, the main male character's name is Tristan, and I just like I think about him every day. Like I hope he's doing well, like wherever he is right now. Like he just really came out of me and surprised me in so many ways, and I had never written a male main character like that before in a fantasy setting and like did it in a way that I was like, oh my God. Like I love and then from there probably Callum from the Constellation Lounge. I feel like Callum is like every dream for every male character I've ever wanted and was like finally the brave like feeling brave enough to tell that story. And then in my portal fantasy there is a prince of demons called Rune, and I think about him literally every hour of the day. He's one of my favorite characters. um it's really hard to pick. It's like literally people are like rank them and I'm like no.
No, what you need to do is you poll your readers to rank them and see what they say. And
I do. I make them do it and everyone's like please don't, and I'm like no, do it because I can't. Because I
too
can't.
fun.
No.
I love that. And I do see from one of my regulars his favorite question. What is your favorite aspect of world building? So, with all the things you're jumping around, what makes you or what do you love about creating these new realities, if they are new realities?
I just really like nobody can tell me I'm wrong, right? Like this is my world. So like whatever I say goes. You get to play God a little bit. So like if I want to do this, I really love being able to create like this is a magic system, this is how this works, this is how like the lay of the land is, this is how it feeds in. Like I just really like being able to almost look at a blank page and just be like, okay, let's go. What do you want to do? Where do you want to put it? And like because it is in my head, it gives you freedom, right? Like even in magical realism, you're able to bend the lines of reality. So somebody had left a comment. I had a video for the Constellation Lounge kind of go like semi-viral, and somebody was like, I can't wrap my head around this. Like it's a bar and they're moving all over. What about liquor licensing? And I'm like, magic, bro. Like it's magic. Like you can't tell me it doesn't work because this is the spin-off of New York that I've created. So I just think that there's like just so much permission to just play and have fun. And then as long as you can stay consistent, obviously, like not too many plot holes. Can't just like drop one thing in chapter 1 and then, go back on chapter 10 and be like, just kidding. But,
You would have to be a really good writer to figure out how to explain something. You're like, oopsie daisy, and then like 2 books later. So the answer is.
So actually, I messed up. Just don't read chapter 10. It's a whole bunch of shit. Just don't read it.
It just goes. So I figured it out. No, that's funny. Also, with the liquor licensing, remember if your pub or bar jumps all around, you can't bust them. It's gonna be gone the next day.
And nobody knows where it is. It's a secret. So like, you're constantly evading anybody that would be looking for you. They don't know that you're there. So, loopholes.
It's a speakeasy on the run. I love it.
Pretty much. Yes. Speakeasy on the run. That's awesome.
I do love that. So, okay, now I've asked about your favorite characters. Is there a particular world or reality, or again, parallel reality that strikes you as one of your favorites that you really enjoyed immersing yourself with?
I probably would go. So in The Wraith and the Cursed Heart is my romantasy duet. I love like it's like the Veil. But I love that world, like through Fate's Hollow, which is where like Emery grows up, and then you have like mermaids and there's sirens and there's vampires. Like there's just so much expansiveness in that world that like my plan, if I can like stay on top of anything, is to do spin-offs because there's so many different fates and there's so many different characters that I have one book that I'm writing right now that's set for a spin-off character, and then I have two more spin-offs planned for that. But again, this is saying that I can actually concentrate on something and not open another document and start a new project. That's like totally unrelated.
That one's a hard one to do. It's taken me a little while to find a good way to approach that where I will give myself permission to maybe write the scene or the notes that I have if I'm brainstorming something, and that could be like after hours or whatever, and just like block that in. But then I will put it away and say I'm dedicated to these two, maybe four projects.
Six.
Like I can't take on anymore until I wrap up one of them. So
it's really hard. Like I don't know if you feel like this, but like if I'm like in a flow of something like and it's a side project, like I can't think about anything else. I can't do anything else. Like I'm writing the sequel to my Portal fantasy right now, and I'm like so sidetracked with other stuff, and I'm like putting words into documents that don't belong to that book, and I'm there in that sequel. Like I'm like, cool, this is gonna happen, like it's there, but I'm like, but these guys are louder, these guys are talking to me more. Like I feel like I have a really hard time like turning down the dial almost and being like, no, not right now, like because they're there, they're like right here, like no no no, us first.
yeah, no, I've my cycle of how I deal with that is again with the notes I'll have like sitting waiting for their turn, but I will work on actively writing a new draft of only one project at a time. But I'll also find times during the day that I'll come back and do various editing or prep work for other books of different series. So I am jockeying between things, and I'm still able to like enjoy some of the characters from my different projects. But if I'm writing something new, I focus just on one first draft at a time. But I'm still working on like four projects. It's weird how it works.
I've never had this problem before. Like with my other books, like literally up until I guess probably about March, I was like a one-hit wonder. I was like, we're here, this is it, this is what we're working on, like this is what we're gonna be done. And then I kind of slowly started like, oh man, I'm just gonna write some notes. And then notes turned into pages, and it turned into pages, and then I was like, oh wait, what about this one? And like I've never had so many open-ended projects before. Like this is new territory for me. I feel like I'm kind of being pulled like through all these, or I'll do like big chunks for one book and be like, okay, I need a break, let me go write something that's not as heavy, because the Portal fantasy gets into politics, like we're going into like heavier stuff now, that I'm like, you know what, let me go write something that's like cute and fun off to the side, and then like almost like rebuild the energy to go back to that book. I don't know if you feel like that, if you like are deep in the fantasy trenches, if you're like, I need to.
I've had one book, and I'm about to go back to that series, so I'm worried about what that means. But I had one book in my Isekai Portal Fantasy series for young adults that it's getting towards the latter part of the series. There's so many plot lines, so many worlds, so many characters that are going on. And for whatever reason, I kept stopping and getting in, just stalling out, stalling out. It was pretty much like a miniature version of writer's block. And I never had that issue before. So I decided what I would do was put that away for a little bit of time. And I wrote a totally different book. And then I came back to it and finished it out. But it was just one of those things because I gave myself permission. I was like, I need a palette cleanser. I need to work on this other project. And I knocked the other one out in a matter of like a month. And I was just like, okay, time to go back to the other one because I have readers waiting and I need to slog through it.
I think that's the hard part too. Like when people read the first book and they're like, so where's the second? And you're like, oh my God, like I'm trying, I promise. But some of them just, I feel like they take longer than others. Like this sequel has been, I wrote Realm Keeper in January. I guess I would have started this in February and it's August and I'm probably like just over the halfway point. It's been the longest book so far it's taken me to write and it's just because it's big and I want to do it well. So then I like, I dumped 30,000 words into it over the last couple of weeks. Now I'm like, all right, see you next month. Like, see you when my brain comes back around.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's okay to give yourself permission to take breaks and focus on other things as long as you don't just drop them off because no reader wants to start a series that never gets finished. We all have had that pain happen to us at some point or another, so.
And I don't want to I'm not going to be that person. Like the book 3 is like, I get it. I have it in my head. It's all just chilling back there. Do you plot or are you a pantser?
I call myself a planter. I plant the seed and let it grow. So I'm a little in the middle, but my more recent projects, I've been plotting more heavily. There is some level of plotting goes on, but I used to be very lenient of where that would take me. And then I let it kind of, the world build itself and the characters come alive. But now that certain projects need more complex structures, like one series that I'm working on has 9 POVs and they're all over the world. So I need to plot that one a lot more heavily than I is for any of my other series that it's a single POV character because it's like, well, she can, or he can, or they can take me wherever, but when I have a bunch of them going around, I need to make sure they don't all scatter and nothing happens.
Wow, I think the most I've written, like the sequel that I have right now has 3 point of views, and I'm still like, wait, where did I leave you? Like, so I feel like I'm gonna get to that point, like from Always Sunny when he has the whiteboard with the marker and he's like freaking out trying to make like all the connections. Like eventually I'm gonna have like a layer and I'm gonna have all this stuff like red strings across the room trying to like link my plot points together.
I mean, I feel like you'd be very flexible when you're trying to weave through all the chords when you get to your desk.
By the time I get there, I'd be exhausted and be like, "Oof, I gotta go." Like,
you'll be trapped in there in the web of writing forever, the literal web of writing.
Yes, forever.
So, I haven't asked you yet anything about like reaching readers. What are some of your favorite ways to connect with readers? Because there are so many ways.
There are so many ways. Honestly, I'm chronically online. So, like, when people are like, I'm sorry for tagging you. Sorry for messaging you. I'm like, no, I'm here. Like, I'm constantly here. So, like, I have a bigger presence on TikTok than anything else. And I post pretty much every day now. And I try to, I think I try to talk about the indie writing process, the stuff that we go through and how exhausting it is and like all of that. And then the books and like, I just really try to be as open as I can so that way anybody can feel like they can message me in chat. And like I've just kind of started posting more on Instagram too. Like I'm trying to get out to events. I'm trying to go and do all these things. Like I'm trying to get out there as much as I can. I have a signing at the end of August. I have one in September out in like State College near Penn State. So like I'm trying to like just be I want to be everywhere. Like, I want you to not be able to turn a corner without seeing me, pretty much.
I love that. I love that. Yes. I'm with you. It's like there's so many ways. And for me, I get FOMO. And so it's like, I feel like, and that's the thing for people listening, you don't have to do all the things. You don't have to be all the places. Don't put yourself to burnout because you're trying to. Unless you're me, and then you are extreme extrovert and you really do try all the things.
There's so many new experiences, especially when I when I sat down to start writing again, I was like, this is going to be a cute little hobby. I'm just going to start writing again. It's going to be super chill. This is literally like full-time job. Like I have a warehouse, like shipping fulfillment for my TikTok shop. Like I do all my marketing, all my covers, all my edits, all my social media. And then
I think she paused, accidentally paused. There you go, you're back.
It took my hand gestures as I was trying to pause the video.
Didn't know we could do that.
I did not know that either. But I mean, you're trying to go everywhere. And two, because I'm so new at this, I'm trying to figure out what works. Like what events work, what ones don't. Like I went to one in Maryland that was like not a fit for me as like a romantasy writer. So it's a lot of like trial and error, I feel like. So I feel like if these opportunities come toward me and they want me to come out, then I would rather go than not go. And if I'm exhausted, then I've made my bed. Now I must lay in it.
That's that's true. That's true. But I mean, and like you said, there you mentioned so many things of having the book being on the book talk space and having a shop through this platform and being able to reach readers that way. But then also the face to face events. There are different ways for people to reach people, readers, and find what works for you as a writer. So that's and phenomenal that you have a whole warehouse. Congratulations.
Oh my God, no, it's my apartment. Like literally, it's just like
Okay.
stacks of
I
books.
was
No, no,
like,
no,
oh,
no, no,
I
no,
was
no,
like,
no.
my mind was like, hey,
If I would be unwell at this point. If I had a warehouse, I would not be here. I'd probably be there. But like, I mean, eventually that would be the goal. No, like I bought a label maker and supplies. Like I do everything. My kitchen table is now like a fulfillment table essentially. But no warehouse yet. Fingers crossed, maybe one day.
Okay. Hey, that makes sense. Like my office. That's one of the reasons why when my husband and I were doing this remodel of a part of our house, I was like, I need a bigger office because I need space to put stock because these books need temporarily homes until I can find their permanent homes.
Until I can find their forever home, until I can get them back to where they belong. Now I know. I have like this whole section of my bookshelf over here. Like the bottom 3 rows are just all my stuff like shoved in it, trying to get it off the floor so I don't trip and break my neck.
Yes. No one wants that to happen.
No.
So with all the projects that you have and in the future, what is one? No, it's gonna probably send you in a tizzy. What is one genre, subgenre that you want to write in that you haven't yet written in?
Ooh. Hmm. So I don't think. I'm trying to think because I have. Oh man. Honestly, I really want to write. Can I give you a trope instead that I really want to write?
Yeah.
Because they're all within the romance genre. Like for me personally, I can't write without romance. Like it's just who I am. Like I wish I could like Game of Thrones it and give you like a 10 book like series, but it's not in me. Um I really want to write a bodyguard trope. I really want to do like, and I'm just trying to decide is this like medieval? Have you ever seen the painting? I think I'm not sure where it is, but it's a knight and a woman going up the stairs, and like they only show the picture for like 30 minutes a day, and it's like one stolen moment like in a corridor, which I like love that picture. But I really want to do a bodyguard, and I'm trying to decide if it's something that's like old medieval times or if it's current. But I really want to do that at some point. For a while I toyed about doing like a cowboy romance, but honestly I feel like I kind of have moved past that a little bit. But I'm working, well, I have a secret, but I want to do like a more heavy theme paranormal romance, which I already have plotted out. So that's my next step.
Here you go. I got you the idea. I'm so sorry, but you're welcome. So for the bodyguard idea, it'll be one of those. It'll be one of those. It'll be a series, and everyone's at a different point in time because it's the same two characters being reborn and having to find each other again and again. But one is always a bodyguard, and one is always the one, whatever, and you just.
Love. This is like a moment in time kind of thing. I love that. That's awesome. That's a really good idea.
That's a pretty one for you.
Perfect. I'll credit you. I'll dedicate the book to you. Like I'll give you your flowers. Like I'll make sure that the world knows that this came from you. That's a solid idea. Oh no, buddy, I already have like 5 open whips. Like please God.
No, I'm kind of like you. Like I can come up with a million ideas. Now I know certain things are out of my wheelhouse because, like you say you always want to make sure there's a romantic big element. For me, I always want to have some kind of big fantasy element because I can't envision writing something without some heavy layers of fantasy at the moment in time. But if I have ideas and I'm like, this is a good idea, I'm not the one to write it.
No, that's fair. Like there's so much stuff that I would love to write. Like I was even thinking earlier, like, man, I would love to go back and like try to write a thriller, but I just don't think that I have the voice for it. Like I feel like I can't pull the punches of dark romance. Like I can't write like really like overly morally gray. Like I can't do it. Like all my guys end up being like maybe a little morally gray, maybe a little standoffish, but like I can't, like it's just not in me to do. So I don't think I can ever do like a true blue dark romance. I don't think it's in me.
Hey, and that's okay. I mean, know your strengths, and you can always challenge yourself, little baby steps here or there. But, and one of the things that I've kind of started dabbling with, though it's a very different style of writing, is short stories. So I'll dabble with like something that's very different in a short story. I'm only dedicating, X many words to it. And then if I'm like, okay, I like this, or okay, I don't, that's when I realize I can't write first person. I wrote a short story, and even my editor was like, that was tough for you. And I was like, yes.
For you. I was gonna ask, like, tense wise, like I love writing in third person. I have a field day in third person, but I feel like I don't know. I mean, if you don't like to write in first, maybe you don't feel like this, but I've started books that I was like, okay, this is gonna be in third person, and then when I sit down to write, it's first person. And I'm like, oh, you want to be in the driver's seat. Okay, I got it. And then I feel like I don't want to fight them really, like if that's kind of how it wants to go. But third person is my jam. I love writing in third person.
Yeah, I mean, it's my comfort zone, but I also realized that a lot of my earlier, most favorite books were third person. So maybe I just was trained early on that concept of this is the way it is. And it is interesting that I'm like, I don't read first person. And all of a sudden recently, a lot of the books I've been picking up. So who knows, maybe I'll absorb whatever I need to absorb. And then one day I'll spit out a book that's first person. But yeah, so far my comfort zone is not that.
Do you feel like it's because I have a love hate with first person, because sometimes I think it gives too much away. And also too, like you almost kind of have an unreliable narrator from that perspective. Like you're only seeing how that person is perceiving. But do you feel like third person gives you more freedom, I guess, maybe? Or like what draws you to third person?
I don't know. Clearly for me, it's like on the ear. I don't know why. I think that's again going back to I'm so used to for so long reading that kind of style that it just sounds better to me. Plus, it's less of the I, me, and I, me. And I think that also is a little grating for just personal taste over time. But for a third person, I don't know. It's, yes, you can keep it kind of limited to an extent because if you write one POV and have one character, you are only being glimpsed what that person, sees or knows or however you do that. And so now that I'm branching off into a couple series that have multiple POVs, it has been kind of fun and to challenge myself where when I write those chapters, I do give it a flavor of it's through the eyes of that person, even though it's still third person, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get it. My third persons are like, this is very much narrow to this person and their perspective. And then even when the chapter changes, like it is like, this is a different person and how they're going through and doing it. But I do love some third person, man. I really do.
So what was it that got you or drew you to writing? You said you published your first book when you were, 20, which is an amazing feat also. So what made you decide to sit down and say, I'm going to do this weird thing called writing? And
This weird thing called writing. I I was actually just talking to my husband about this last night. I started writing fanfic before I knew what fanfic was. Like, I was literally writing Hey Arnold fanfiction at like the first grade level. I was like, I don't like Helga, so I'm just gonna erase this. Like, I was writing always. And then it turned into like bigger stuff. And then eventually I was like, I would love to write a book one day. Like if I can just get one done, like that's awesome. This would be incredible. And then I started writing, like I would have just random scenes that would come to me. I'd write them out. Everything was handwritten. Like at the time, like I wasn't putting that on my family computer, please. No, that was going in my spiral bound notebook that was being hidden somewhere in a corner that I could like come back and go to. And then I guess probably like around like 18, I was like, I would really love to write a book. I was always reading, always, always, always. And then I sat down and wrote my first book at 20, I think. And I was like, okay. And it was based off of a house that was actually near my place. And it had like a roof right below one of the windows that you could actually climb out. And I was like, why would somebody go out onto our roof? Like, what would they be trying to escape? And then the story just unfolded. And then that was it. And I was like, cool, this was fun. what else can I do? And then we were off, and now we're 20 books in.
That is, again, that is phenomenal, and 20 books is just a wowing, wowing thing. So congratulations on all that as well, because again, there are some people who struggle with trying to, figure out words for their first story, let alone 20. So that is an impressive thing.
Yeah, it's a lot, but honestly, it's so much fun. I just said to my husband the other night, I was like, you know, I have a lot of hard days doing this because it's exhausting and it takes a lot from you, but like I'm never happier than I am if I've got like a story in my head, if I'm sitting, my playlist is going and I'm writing, I'm like, my cup is like so full right now. So I'm like, cool, let's go. Let's just keep rolling. Let's just try to do as many as we can. And obviously do them well, but I want to write as many as I can.
I love that. I love that. And that is the thing. It's like, if you are a writer out there, don't let anybody tell you no. Just, you have to challenge yourself to improve and be better and better and better, and you'll get there. That's what I believe. I put that good vibe out to the world. I will.
I second that vibe.
Well, here's one of the vibes that you might get a kick out of, since as a fantasy author, I like the big sweeping stories and the action and everything. And one of the projects that I may be releasing next year will be my first standalone. I will call it a romantic dark fantasy, because I don't like happy.
I feel like that gif of the dog where like when you say its favorite words, it's going.
Yep.
Got me with romantic dark fantasy and standalone. Please tell me more.
So, I mean, this one will be it's going to be a riff, so a retelling essentially of a play, Cyrano de Bergerac. So it's one of the oldest and at its time very, very iconic love triangles, but it's a doomed love triangle scenario. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm going to now set it in a queer normative world where we're dealing with desertscapes and heraldic beasts and aerial battles over, sandstorms and stuff like that. So
that's awesome. That's really cool.
That's one of my tipping my toes in another subgenre that I've never done before.
That's awesome. So I love that. That's going to be really cool to read. It's probably going to be really fun to write too.
It is a lot of fun. I did get a note back from my developmental editor, because the original character is supposed to be one of these kind of Renaissance characters, and one of the talents they have is a poet. I'm not a poet. And I was kind of just implying the fact that he's good at this kind of stuff. And, well, my character, I changed that up. And she is supposed to be a really good poet. And then the note was, add in the poetry. And I'm like, so that's what the last thing I need to do for this book. I've done everything else, and I just keep waiting. I have to come back and figure out, like, how do I do this thing called poetry?
I think about that all the time. Like, when books have, like, prophecies or, like, limericks in it, I'm like, how do you... Like, I just finished the new Adversary to the Villain, and they have, like, the whole prophecy in there, and, like, it all rhymes. And I'm like, no, like, I need 18 pages. Like, I can't, like, put this in, like, 5 lines. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, for whatever reason, prophecies make more sense. But coming up with poems, I think I keep going back to the old, hyper-structured poetry. And I'm like, panic. Have you ever gotten a note from an editor or a beta reader that sent you on a whole, wait, hold on.
Yeah, like, just being like, what is this? And I'm like, oh shit, wait, what is this? I don't know. I gotta go back and reread, because like I feel like I end up getting like in these like kind of tunnel zones, and then it goes back and it's like, what are you trying to say here? And I'm like, I literally couldn't tell you. Like, I think my one friend that's in here reads everything for me, and she like wrote a note and she's like, what is this? And I was like, I literally couldn't tell you. Like, I just, like, don't know how these words got strung together or what they're supposed to mean. So I just deleted the whole thing out, and I was like, I'll figure it out later. And I went back and reread it, and I was like, okay, I know what I'm trying to do, but like it just kind of, I word smashed, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, there is something, and that's why it's always good to have multiple eyes on a project, because you get so close to the story in your head that you're trying to express that you miss sometimes some very obvious oopsies.
And even if I try to go back and like slow down and reread, like you just kind of slip into it. So like eventually like you're not really, and I don't know if this happens to you when you read, but I always told my parents growing up, like, and my husband still does it, like when I read, I zone out. Like I'm not here. You have to physically nudge me. But like for me, it's like a movie in my head. Like when I write, when I read, like I'm in it. So I'm just trying to get it all out. And then even when I go back and go back into it, I'm like, okay, movie starting again, hit start, and then kind of go from there. And I don't know what kind of mental illness this is. It's probably something. But
Have you
that
ever had like, because even Word has that feature now where you can let it read in its robotic voice, your words back to you? Because sometimes if you hear someone else read something, you'll catch things be like, that's odd.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look into that. I use Google Docs more than anything, but I'm sure that there's probably something in there that would read it
Yeah.
back to me. Instead of me having to sit and read it out loud, and then I sound like, I've smoked 20 packs by the end of the day. So I'll have to look into that. It's a good
And
suggestion.
it probably is easier for you because with me and all my fantasy made up words, it's a little harder for me because it's like, and I'm like, what did I? Oh, okay, wait, hold on. You're
Oh,
okay.
God, you probably have to do you make like dictionaries and stuff for your books? Like, do you have like,
I do have pronunciation guides in every book that I feel like they need, which is most of them. They all have pronunciation guides in the back matter for people who, if they so choose and they want to know how I hear it, they can do that.
I think what we should do, we kind of already started this, is when I get really crazy high fantasy ideas, I'm just going to throw them to you. And then when you get like your romance ideas, you can just throw them to me and we'll just kind of create this vortex together. I think we'll probably be set.
I love that. I always love a new idea to add to my repertoire and my pretty much a library of unwritten work.
A library is a correct term for it. Yes.
An unwritten library. What does that look like? My documents.
Yard in Google Doc.
I love, yes, ladies team up. I do like this plan. I do.
I do too.
So what was something as an author that you would want to achieve that you haven't reached yet? What is one of your author goals? And this could be, a big sweeping thing. This could be something just small and, achievable, relative.
I guess like I feel like this is such a niche thing to really want. And it was something that like I had, I think in January where I was like, this is like one of my goals. I would love to get tagged one day and somebody's like, here's my fan art from this book. Like,
Yes.
I feel like if somebody is drawing characters for me and I don't have to pay them, I feel like that's like a really cool way of being like, I made it. Like, you are like drawing for me, which is really cool. And then I guess like ultimately I would really love to just kind of keep going and growing a following. And like I look at people like Chelsea Curto, who did the DC Star series, who started indie, who's got this following now. She's trad published. Like I didn't go the trad route to start. I did indie because I wanted control, but like ultimately I would love to get to a point where like I went and I saw Hannah Nicole Mayer last night for Adversary to the Villain. Like I would love to have a room full of people that want to come and meet me and like get a book signed. Like I would love to make it, I think. And if I stay indie forever, then I stay indie forever, and that's fine. But I would just love to get to a point where like
You can hybridize. Have a little, best of both worlds.
yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Just a chill ask to put into the universe. No big deal.
It's okay. Hybridizing is something that's on my wish list too, because even though I'm a control freak and I want to make sure I can have that ability to micromanage certain series, it would be nice to have some other projects, taken off my shoulders and then getting the benefit of a different type of reach and, a different kind of marketing group and all that kind of stuff. So
or like some support.
Mhm.
Like somebody else being like, here's your Instagram post idea for the day. And I'm like, great, thanks. I'm sad. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is the one I'm shouting out all the time to put in the universe. My author goal, my wish list goal is that I will walk around a convention one day and people will be cosplaying my characters.
Love. That's a good one too.
That's been on my top of my list for a little while now. I'm like, just some random person. I don't want to be like someone I know, like face to face, no, but like some random person or someone who's a follower that I've chatted on these kind of things, and all of a sudden they're walking as one of my characters. I was like, I've also realized I need to have my characters wear more interesting things so they can be more identifiable.
I'm going to give you a 6 set of wings because one day I'm going to walk through a convention and I'm going to see the shape or the color and be like, it's time.
Exactly.
I love that. That's awesome. That's a great one too.
It's good to have your goals. But since we're hitting that 3/4 mark of the hour, I always have a couple questions I like to ask every time. And one of which is outside of Book Talk, where else can people find and follow you? Do you have a website, newsletter? Are you on other socials, or is this pretty much your
This is my main one. I would, if I can free up some bandwidth, I would love to be able to do a newsletter. My goal is to eventually get like my own website like up and running, and like I want to be able to take pre-orders and stuff. But for right now, I feel like my plate is so full. Fingers crossed, maybe one day. But newsletter would probably be my next stop. But here in Instagram, I'm always scrolling. So if you need me, that's where you can get me. Probably.
Hey, and because you have your own shop through this platform, I mean, there's a way that kind of leads to the next question of where can people get your books and in what formats are they available? I know you have another.
You can get them anywhere you buy a book pretty much. So everything's backed up through Ingram Spark, so you can get them through like Books A Million, you can get it through Barnes & Noble. It's on Amazon, paperback, Kindle, as an ebook, and then Kindle Unlimited. And then I sell signed copies through my shop. And if you get it through my shop, it comes signed. I send the artwork, I send stickers, I send bookmarks. So I try to like make it like a cute little care package and do it. But pretty much anywhere you can buy a book, you can probably find me somewhere.
Yay! I love that. And care packages are fantastic, and signed books are like an obsession of mine. Obviously, if they have the pretty little edges and the pretty little things, that's even an extra perk. But man, I will hunt down authors and I'll be like, I want you to sign this book.
Mm-hmm. I just actually got my first request for book plates. So I designed my own book plates on Canva. I just brought in a roll of 150. So I just sat the other day and like started signing them, and like they're on their way to Kansas right now. So yeah, that's been fun. That's a fun addition.
Yeah, I love that. And for anybody who listens to this at any point, doesn't know what book plates are, it's when you buy a book and it is not signed. Certain authors will send you, it's kind of like a glorified sticker, but it has the signature on it that you can put in the book. So it's the next best thing. Great if you're shipping internationally, and because international shipping is expensive, they can buy in country and get the book plate, and that's there. Mm-hmm. Sending that out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is fantastic. Do you and you said ebook, paperback, hardcover. Are you even considering audiobooks, or is that something that you're gonna yes, no, maybe so kind of thing?
Yeah, audiobooks are definitely in the future. I've been asked a lot. It's really just money, honestly. They're an expensive endeavor. So like the idea of starting a Kickstarter has been like thrown around to do that. So audiobooks are hopefully on the horizon. The issue is that the more that I keep writing, the more audiobooks I need. So I have to probably kind of be selective about what ones I want to start with. But the first on the chopping block will be the Constellation Lounge, to get that done as an audiobook and get that out. That's the one that people ask for the most. So
yeah, that's fantastic. And yeah, crowdfunding and campaigns like that are great a great way to try to see if you can get that funding up ahead, so you can just not out of your pocket right away, because I understand that feeling.
Have you done audiobooks for your books?
I'm in the works of trying to catch up, kind of like what you were talking about, the way, and I'll be towards the end, in a couple months, I'll finally wrap up one series, and that will be my Viking Dark Fantasy series, The Guardian Speaker. It's a 16 novella series, so I'm going to be wrapping that one up, and I'll be very excited for that. But the other two series that I have, my young adult Isekai Portal Fantasy and my new adult Dark Shifter Fantasy, both of them are in the works of slowly being converted, but it just takes time and money. And so it's a little slow, and that's why I'm not offering an audiobook option on the campaign I'm running right now on my crowdfunding Kickstarter. I'm just going to do like the physical copies, the special editions, the ebooks, that kind of thing. Oh,
nice. That cover's pretty.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's for a Greek myth retelling, since I was going to say I can't stay in one lane. Just have to hop around all the time. And actually, let me ask you, is there anything that you want people to note about for you for like release dates or launches or face-to-face events or on digital events, like anything that you would want people to note on their calendar pertaining to you and your publishing schedule?
Yes, I have many things. So I'm in Westchester, so I'm about 45 minutes outside of Philly. So I have a book signing on August 29th in Downingtown. And it's, what is it? The library, nope, sorry. It's the Wildflower Book Festival, which is super cute. I get to actually sit and do my first author panel, which is going to be really cool. I've never been able to sit on an author panel before, so I've got that going for me. And then in September, I release my Dark Academia, A Study in Shadows on the 15th. And then the 19th of September, I'll be out in Penn State at State College for another little book festival that they're doing out there. And then I may have a little something releasing in between. I can't say. And then December, I think it's the 2nd or the 3rd, I'm releasing Realm Keeper, which is book 1 in my trilogy. That's the Portal Fantasy. So I've got 2 more books to wrap this year.
Woo. I was going to say, you have a big schedule. I struggle with like trying to release more than like 2 books a year.
It's been rough. I really bit off a lot this year, but I probably should like give myself some time to breathe, but I can't because I want to do this so badly that I'm like, let's go. Let's do it as much as we can. So
yeah. And here's the thing, it's like sometimes it's good to like push for a few, years where you're like, okay, here's my goal, I'm gonna get these things out. And then when you feel a little more comfortable and saying, okay, my career is stabilizing, then you have the choice if you want to slow down a little bit or just keep rocking and rolling,
Next year should be later. Next year, I think my goal is like a book a quarter, basically. Like I already have 2 done for next year. So I'm kind of back cataloging right now. So that way I can just spend tons of time editing and getting everything done and out there. So that's my goal, is maybe next year I'll breathe.
Well,
right now.
Because now I'm fascinated because this is where I struggle with, where I have a lot of books written, but it's the time and energy to try to set up and prep, notifying people and like the pre-launch or the pre-release and it's all that kind of scheduling and working backwards that's where one of the things I struggle with. How do you figure out how to do that with, you said how many books you're releasing this year? 5, 6?
I have 2 more, and I released 3 in the front half of this year, so 5 this year. So I'm in the middle of an ARC campaign right now. Like ARCs just went out for A Study in Shadows last week. So I was like, okay, how much time? I try to give people 6 weeks, and like I don't know how many people I'm gonna get. I had 193 people sign up for ARCs, which is awesome. So I was like, I'll work backwards. If release is on September 15th, I want ARCs to go out August 1st. That gives a 6-week timeline, which means I need to start posting like 2 to 3 weeks in advance. So like when my book comes out in December, like I'll start posting like probably beginning of October and do signups and then do it that way. So I don't even know if that's enough time, honestly, but I just can't imagine trying to do it for longer because it's such an exhausting process to like monitor and get everything out, and emails, I didn't get this, and then like keeping track of, who leaves reviews and whatnot. I try to do like little giveaways for people who leave reviews. So like I kind of keep everything in an Excel sheet. So it's like a really taxing time to be in ARC mode because you're just kind of like, and still prepping to release it, which is its own mountain to climb every time.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things, like trying to just figure out how to schedule is almost as complicated as just trying to figure out how to do the writing part of it. At least for me, scheduling is, I love scheduling, but it's a beast.
It is, it's a beast. And I think that's one of the things, or like a part of this process that people don't see, or they don't realize like how much time it takes to get ready to do this and all the stuff that needs to go into it and schedule. Like it's a separate headache on top of like not only just writing the book and getting it good and getting it ready. It's like, okay, now we have to market, which is
the many hats of an author, especially and particularly for indie authors, because it's like You have your finger on a little bit of everything. You have the cover design, and of course the editing, and the writing, and the marketing, and the formatting, and it goes on and on and on and on. Yep. So let me ask, and this goes for everybody as listening as well as you, Rachel. Is there anything topic-wise that you wanted to cover or talk about that we didn't get to cover? Any questions that you had that you haven't had a chance to ask? Because we have a few more minutes, and I want to make sure we cover everything you wanted to.
It's wild that you spend so much time getting your books to us and we devour them in 2 days. Real. Like literally so real. I honestly just think it's the time or kind of understanding like this process and what it looks like, because I'm not trad published and I don't have a team and I don't have people coordinating stuff for me. Like it's me on my couch being like, so if I do this on this day and I do this on this day, like it's literally, all that time. And then you release it. Like I put the arc out and I already have 14 reviews in and people are like, here you go, I'm done. And I'm like, holy shit. Like I've been sitting on this thing for a year. Like it is crazy the time it takes. But it's, yeah, I mean, I feel like that. I just read a book I've been waiting a year for today. And I'm done. And I'm like, all right, cool. See you next year.
Yep. It is amazing. I'll admit, I am one of those readers I'm a very slow reader. So it would be almost a miracle if I finished a book in a day. But with that said, I do know so many people who can do that, or even the really crazy ones who can do multiple books a day. I don't know what you do.
I don't know. I mean, this book wasn't long. It was like 327 pages. It's been raining all day, so I was like, this is perfect. Like, this is an easy way. But I'm trying to slow down. I'm trying to take my time and soak it in, because you only get to read it for the first time once. And instead of like speed reading, I'm trying to breathe a little bit more.
Exactly. Now, I do see a question popping in there. Is there more magic for us in the future? And I think that's aimed at you, because for me, there's always magic.
I guess my counter question would be, what kind of magic are you looking for? Because the answer is yes, but they look different. I have a lot more magic.
Series.
What did you say?
I said the Bodyguard series.
The Bodyguard series. Yeah, actually, that one, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that would be magic or not. They might just be like humans. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm gonna have to let that ruminate. Well, if there's reincarnating, I can't. We're gonna have to talk. Email me. We can't talk here.
I see the dark magic pop up, and another one's any kind. So it all depends.
No, there's definitely more magic. The trilogy is gonna have a ton. The vampire book has a ton of different magic layered into it. What I'm working on now has kind of some paranormal magic aspects to it. So yes, plenty of magic to come. It's an endless array.
I love that. I absolutely love that. That's great. So what book, since we talked about, and I showed you a glimpse of one of my projects, book cover wise, what book that you have written has your favorite book cover? And do you have it available to show in demo? Because we always like seeing empty covers.
I feel like this one's probably my favorite. Honestly, like this one was so easy to come together, but then I had somebody design the special edition for me because I just didn't have the bandwidth. So I'm trying to think, what else do I have up there? Probably this. I like the Song of the Tide, but I love the Constellation Lounge cover. Like, it's just so symbolic for the whole story and how they kind of come together and do all their stuff. And it was the only one in Canva that didn't make me want to have an emotional breakdown. So got that.
So you make your own covers? That's okay. That's a skill that I am not confident with. That's one of those things I pay the experts for, because I'm like, I'm an artist. I paint pets, but it's a very different kind of thing than book covers.
No, it's like me and Canva, man, we're like this now. Like we're in the thick of it. I've done all of them and they take me, I can't tell you how many I've scrapped and started over and been like, no, not this. I wish I had the Thornbound one to show you because I really like that one too. But nope, it's me and Canva and a will and a way, I guess.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. And shadows.
A Study of Shadows has a gorgeous cover too.
She's right here.
Ooh, pretty.
This one was pretty. This was another one where I was like, thank God. A couple iterations, a couple edits, and we're done, and I can just like close the old laptop and like.
I love that.
Go outside and get some sun.
Yeah, no, Kayla and I are real close, are getting really close when it comes to the advertising and that kind of stuff. But book covers, I'm just not comfortable doing it myself. I'll come up with like temporary covers where it's like, here's a placeholder, but
No, I think I'm gonna eventually end up getting to a point where I'm like, I can't visualize. Like, I'm not an artist. Like, I can't get down or blend what I want to blend. So mine are fairly kind of simple, I think, but they will do for now.
Well, I also think like for romance, and depending on what kind of romance you're writing, some of them, as you said, simplistic look is what I'm seeing out right now. So it is trending. So you're on market right now.
I'm doing it. Yeah.
You're doing it. I love that. Well, since we have reached the end of the hour, I'll say one thing. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and getting to meet you and all the things you do and write. And that's amazing, collection that you have already. And the fact that you have so many more in the works is just mind-boggling. So
I'm very tired, but I appreciate it. No, thanks for asking me to come and hang out and chat with you. This is awesome. I like being able to talk to people that do this too and commiserate and be able to, swap some stories and feel seen, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, I'm one of those authors that I will fully admit I've done everything wrong the first time.
Yep.
Like 100%.
Constantly a learning curve. Yep. Every time I think I'm like, cool, I've covered all my bases. Life's like, nope.
You didn't expect this one.
One more.
Well, at least I'm adjusting and I'm learning from my mistakes. So I get that. But no, I really do appreciate you coming out and hanging out for so long. And if you ever want to do this again, I try to do them more or less weekly. And just let me know.
Anytime. I'm always down. Again, I'm chronically online.
So am I.
Perfect. We'll meet up again. We'll come back with fleshed out stories. Maybe we can talk about plots next time.
There you go. And for everybody who's come and hung out and popped in throughout the whole chat, I do appreciate you as well. But it is 8 o'clock. That means it is time for my dogs to go on their walks. And it's raining outside, so that's going to be fun. But until next time, everyone, happy reading.
Yeah.
Bye.